This stack up just screams we are designing to fail. Okay. I mean, okay,
Oh,
so
that's right. There's like two frequencies of equal opposing just cancel
yeah,
each other out. We're gonna see a whole
every
lot of that.
other week. So listen to this. So last week was the Little Mermaid, right? They only had 1 week in the theaters before Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which is the same target demographic. And we know that one is going to be a lot better than the curse of the Disney remakes. And then, okay, so from there, you got June 9th, you have the Transformers Raise the Beast, which I'm not excited
Hey,
to
hold
see.
on. There's a Transformers movie coming out.
Yes.
I have not seen a single trailer or heard a single thing.
It looks bad.
We're on YouTube.
Read out. They stated it off by doing the diversity inclusion shit
They
immediately
killed it
with the
immediately.
Transformers movie, because we go to there to see the humans, not the fucking big giant robots.
Of
Yeah,
course.
Now, I'm curious because I want to see what Unicron
Oh, Wrangler.
looks like in this version. We catch a glimpse in the trailer, and it looks like they are sticking true to the G1 design with it. But I want to see what he looks like in robot mode.
Well, here's the thing, though. I mean, if you were a Beast Wars fan, you would know that the Beast Wars are descendants of the Autobots, and that they became smaller as the need for energon became great. So the forms grew smaller and smaller till ultimately they were the size of what were G1 Minicons.
Yeah, because of the great upgrade, I believe they called it.
Exactly. Well, the Transformer movie, according to the commercial, they're all the same size and they're in the same time period. So they basically
I
took
didn't
the
even
Beast
think
War
about
lore
that.
and threw it out the window.
MAJI,
Yeah,
hasn't this been in every Transformers movie that you've gotten? Has done that?
I just pulled up the trailer to have a quick question.
Yeah.
I saw one
You
frame.
watched it?
Well, I started to, and then I stopped at 20 seconds. Why did they superimpose the World Trade Center? Why is it they send us?
It's in the 80s, or the 90s, I believe.
Oh, okay. I was very perplexed.
Okay.
Yeah, all the Michael Bay ones, I don't think this is, even though they're sticking with his style, I don't think it's in continuity. I think Bumblebee was considered a reboot point. But I'm not certain. I haven't seen Bumblebee. I saw the opening to it, and they for the first time they actually respected the original designs and made the characters look like the characters. It's like about damn time. But then they went straight back to Bumblebee having like no mouth, and they turned him into Herbie again. I'm like, damn it.
Hold up. Christian, are you asking, okay, do we own the franchise? Because I'm not fixing it for these shitty corporations.
Yeah, you were. We were checking out your website and your reviews. They were awesome, King Bob.
And it now looks like I have a movie date I didn't know about, but I do now.
Oh, it gets better. This gets a lot more fun. The more that this goes, I think the more Bob's reviews are going to come in handy for you, Wrangler.
Oh yeah.
I think you're about to become very popular with kids stuff because it gets
Christian,
worse.
I'd have to have full ownership.
Christian has
partial.
an awesome question. No.
I'd have to have full ownership, no partial bullshit.
I'm sorry. As much as I used to love Transformers, the fact they started teaching pronouns and telling people that don't use pronouns
that
they're not trusted, I can't anymore.
Yeah, they were playing. I think it was. I listened to Yellow Flash or somebody who was playing a clip of that, and I was like, "Oh, come on!"
No, that's okay. The pronoun thing it irks me, but the one that the final line for me was when they literally stated in the show by one of the characters saying, "I don't know who to trust, so I dislike people that don't use pronouns." That's her rephrasing. I don't have her exact words in front. But basically, they told kids don't trust anybody that doesn't use pronouns. That was the final line for me.
That's it. From now on, I just call everybody it.
Well, what's even more funny is the fact that they have a transformer that says he's non-binary. Well, in all honesty, if you know computer code,
It's
I
they're
binary.
binary.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Elon Musk
that's
pointed
true.
that out. I love the fact that Elon Musk pointed that out, and that was just brilliant.
Yeah, he did. He pointed it out, and I laughed because I'm like, yeah, they are 100% binary because they use computer code.
Hey, but you know what? At least in the upcoming movie, RC looks like RC again.
Well, that's because so
The triplet version a few years ago, that was like junk.
that's because all right. So that all right. My nerd's coming out. Rolling up the sleeves. nerd's coming
Sweet.
out. So the three original Bayformer movies, Michael Bay directed them. The Bumblebee movie was done by an independent director, and then Michael Bay went back and did the other two crappy Bay movies. But the one who's doing Age of the Beast is the same guy who did the Bumblebee movie and following the format. The guy who did the Bumblebee movie was actually a fan of the Transformers series.
Yeah.
So the Bumblebee movie, even though it was produced by Michael Bay, is actually different than the Bay franchise, even though they reference it a little, because it was done by a fan who was trying to correct all the trash done with the five movies.
Yeah. I guess somebody who reviewed it said this is a G1 fan's wet dream. I don't believe that. I will
Why? Beast
take a
Wars
look.
wasn't in G1.
What's that?
Beast Wars wasn't in G1. They were G3.
I always thought Beast Wars was a continuation of G1 because it's in continuity.
Okay, so here's the
I
thing.
thought G2 was... Well, G2 was just they took G1 and like... it was just reruns. G3 was that when they started with Hot Shot and all them?
No. Okay, so... Damn it. I'm such a nerd. All right. After the release of the original 1980s movie, the show went downhill from there because they killed off everyone's favorite characters during the movie. Spoiler, everyone dies. But what happened was the fan outcry during season 3 of G1 Transformers was so epic that they actually brought Optimus Prime back to please the fans.
It forced the writers to go hunt down a Quintesson and say, fix him.
Exactly. Well, by the time they did that, though, it was already too late. The franchise died. So what happened was Japan picked it up there because it was originally a show in the U.S. done weekly by Hasbro. Well, Hasbro took it overseas to Japan, and they made technically four different mini-series that combined into one collection there. That is considered Gen 2. Is that...
Oh, okay. The continuation from Japan when the U.S. side dropped it? Because then they went into Headmasters and all that. They retconned Rebirth out of existence, I believe.
That's exactly what happened. Gen 2 was all on the Japanese side. And then one of them leaked over just before Beast Wars and was playing at like 6 o'clock in the morning on one of the networks. It was a mini one that you were talking about, the retcon one. And then Beast Wars technically is right there, Gen 2.5 to Gen 3. It set the tone for the newer stuff. It was released in the US, acknowledging the Gen 1 because a lot of Gen 1 references was in the later sides of Beast Wars. On top of, they introduced the Spark Complex and added more to the Matrix in terms of its usefulness. So the whole Autobot, or the whole Sparks of the Transformers, which is basically equivalent to their soul, wasn't even introduced until the Beast Wars era. Then Beast Wars evolved into Beast Machines, which was terrible. And everybody forgets that one exists, and started the Gen 3, which is the Cybertron trilogy Armada, Energon, and
Which,
Cybertron.
and that's the beginning of the whole new continuity, right?
Exactly, yes.
But technically, that's supposed to be not a variant of Unicron, but I think when Unicron's destroyed in one reality, he emerges in another. So he's just like same Unicron reincarnates one
Yeah.
reality at a
Well,
time.
the three triples, the Generation 3 where they redid Unicron, they also introduced Primus, which is basically Cybertron sole purpose is on Primus's body.
Yes, I believe Primus is considered order and Unicron is considered chaos.
Chaos. Yeah.
And the origins on the two of them have been very convoluted and retconned so many times. It's just like you got a basic idea that kind of is vaguely reapplied again and again in each new continuity.
And then in between Beast Wars and Beast Machines, there is called Beast Wars Neo, but that's like a 2.5 to 3.0 Japanese side that sometimes you see episodes leaked over into the US.
Yeah. Now from there, I think, was it Car Robots and nobody liked it?
Oh, you're talking the GoBots.
No, not GoBots. I think there was a Transformers. There was like Transformers Car Robots or something. I don't know. There was like.
Oh, are you talking the 2000 Red series, Robots in Disguise?
Oh, maybe.
That's
Yeah,
what started
use
the
the correct name.
popularity. That's what started the popularity back after Beast Wars. It was kind of its own little mini segment between Beast Machines and the triple Cybertron series.
Yeah. Then there was maybe we're talking about the same one. It was about 7 to 10 years ago. I think they did 2 seasons. It was, and they kind of opened it up with G1 footage, and they referenced it as like an alternate past.
You're talking the animated series. That was Hasbro trying to recover the Transformers series after the Bayformer movies.
Yeah, and it was almost like Teen Titan type stylization
Yes.
to it.
So then after that, it went straight from animated to the Prime series, Transformers Prime, which was based off the Bayformers.
Yeah, and believe I actually like that a lot better than the Bayformers themselves. It was a nice balance between kind of having a smoother of a design, but still having that new Michael Bay aesthetic. But I mean, it was written by Roberta Orci, and Roberta Orci and Alex Kurtzman wrote together for the Transformers movies.
And then you have Transformers Bumblebee and then Transformers, I forget, but they're designed for little kids. They're the MAJI figures, both of which are for lower level kids. And then now the new one is Earthspark. Earthspark is the confrontational woke takeover.
Yeah, and when I saw those clips, I'm like, that does not belong in a kid's show. I don't care how much they sanitize the language, just the subject matter itself is as inappropriate as it gets. But then again, it's Hasbro. Look what they've been doing with Wizards of the Coast and all that stuff. Should we be surprised? No. Why am I still surprised? I don't know, but I am. I thought maybe the fact that they're big old robots would prevent this issue from even getting inserted in here, but no.
There is okay. Oh man, I am such a nerd. You guys are not helping me with my cause here.
Well, I'm a Transformers nerd to a point too. I mean, you know the lore better than I do. I
believe in you.
I know mostly G1. After that, it's all kind of I kind of absorbed it passively from there.
Well, okay, so Jose Hernandez asked a question here. The actual answer to this one isn't the IDW comics. However, the one nice character that I really enjoyed out of the IDW comics was a mini-series based off of Drift's origin. Drift was a really badass Decepticon, killed a bunch of people, stuff like that. He gets injured and then he rediscovers what life is and what's important. It's a mini series about 5 comics long.
Yeah.
It's actually really good. But the best, honestly, retcon between the generations wasn't even a comic or a show. It is an actual book. It is called, you could pull it up on Amazon, but I have it here. It's called Transformers Exodus by Alex Irvine.
It's a novel.
It's a novel, an official novel. It completely goes back and reestablishes, because unfortunately, the later IDW Transformer comics kind of made it seem like Optimus and Megatron were old lovers or something like that.
Oh, jeez.
But in Alex's Irvine, it establishes Megatron's origin in terms of who he was, where he came from, how he came into power. It also establishes Cybertron's class system prior to the Great War. It's a really good read if you're into that kind of stuff. There's two.
Sometimes, I mean, I could sit here and nerd out talking about Orion Pax.
Yeah, actually, you get to meet him before he becomes Optimus Orion Pax. Like, they go into depth in the pre-war in that book.
Alpha Trion a part of that book too?
He is. He also
Sweet.
has his own book. So what they did, because Alpha Trion was considered one of the 12 original primes, they went out and released Alpha Trion's journal in a collector's pack. I'm trying to remember what it's called. I have it. It's in a box.
I remember, like, when I was early 20s, I wrote a fanfic for Transformers because I knew they were alive, they were living beings, but I had trouble wrapping my head around the idea that something not biological could still be alive. So I kind of wrote a whole new origin for them that was similar to the GoBots, because I believe the GoBots origins, they started off as biological beings, and everything got replaced with cybernetics when their planet went bad, and they had to do it to survive.
I'll send you a link for the Transformers book.
Actually, I was 19 when I wrote that, I think. And Alpha Trion got his name because he was the third attempt a Quintessons made at putting a person in a completely mechanical body, but he was the first one that actually succeeded. So they called him Alpha Trion.
I don't remember anything about the GoBots other than there was like a space shuttle, like the NASA space shuttles, and I think there was like a Jeep or something. Like, I just remember a couple of the vehicles.
The Jeep was actually in Transformers. That was Prawl. In GoBots, Leader 1 was the leader of the good guys.
Okay,
he was a jet.
I don't want to buy this.
Psych Hill was the leader of the bad guys. He turned into a motorcycle because motorcycle versus jet sounds fair.
Okay, I think I had a jet and maybe a helicopter. No, not a helicopter.
There was a Scooter, and his name was, Scooter. Then a sports car named Turbo. I can't remember any of the other.
Then you had a dump truck named Dan.
I just remember it was a great way to sell toys.
Yeah, you know what? I cared more about the stories than the toys. I had the toys, don't get me wrong, loved the toys, but I was glued to that screen when Transformers or GoBots was on. But Transformers was a much bigger fan of that. How long have we been sitting here yapping about Transformers?
I told you, you got my nerd going.
And likewise, and we got 3 other people on screen, a bunch of people down in chat, and they're probably like, we don't care about Transformers. You guys talk about novels usually.
Yeah, read out an icon. We're in trouble. Sorry, read out.
I'm here.
Oh, wait, King Bob's in the chat, so we got one more Transformers nerd down there at least. Because I know he's said good things about the soundtrack, so.
Soundwave was the man.
Yeah. And what's weird is, what was it, the second Michael Bay movie? They had Soundwave in there. They had Frank Welker do the voice.
They didn't do that right.
But they didn't do the what is it, the synthesizing that they do or something?
I thought he was in the first movie as well.
Soundwave was not in the first movie.
Fuck, it was the little the fighter jet one.
That's Starscream.
Starscream, okay.
Yeah.
What
However,
about the Soundwave?
Rumble.
Damn, I broke you with that.
Was it Rumble or Frenzy that was in the first one? He's supposed to be one of Soundwave's top guys.
Who the fuck is who? Which one's Soundwave?
He's the one that turned into the cassette player.
The what?
He was the blue one turned into the cassette player, but he'd talk like this. It's actually Frank Welker doing his Dr. Claw voice. Where he talks like this, but then they run it through a synthesizer and it comes out sounding like a synthesized voice. And it was a really neat effect, but it ripped up his throat something fierce.
Wait. Are you
But
saying
in the movies he was a satellite? I'm sorry. In G1 he was a tape deck. In the movies he was a satellite. In the
okay? You're talking about the one in space that
Yes,
I think
where
randomly
we said
dies or something.
Frequency
It doesn't
is the
die.
cat.
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember who the fuck which one was.
Yeah, it's fair enough. I mean,
Who was the Ford truck? The Ram, or was Ford or Ram, whatever truck it was, big diesel one. What was the name of the cop Decepticon?
I just remember.
Oh, that
He
was,
was made up
for
for the movie.
Bumblebee.
yeah, he was a new character, but what was he called? The thing on the side said to
Prowler?
enslave and punish. No, Prowler is actually Prowl is actually
Prowl
an
is the
Autobot
G1.
who was a cap. No, that was Hound. Hound was the Jeep. Prowl was the cop for the Autobots. I cannot remember the name of the Decepticon who was in the Mustang Cruiser body.
Well, maybe he didn't have a name.
He did.
Kind of just dies halfway through the movie.
Barricade. There's Barricade.